Today, I want to invite you to therapy as we chat with noted counseling psychologist Andre Allen Casey to learn how people can really overcome personal and interpersonal challenges and effect lasting change. This, after all, is how we can make our families stronger and make our communities and our country a better place, even in these times of great uncertainty. Andre Allen Casey has years of hands-on experience in counseling and serving several people groups and entities. A renowned therapist, Andre holds a master's degree in counseling psychology from Northern Caribbean University in Mandeville, Manchester. Andre, welcome to Impacting Jamaica.
Thank you very much for the awesome invitation.
Great. Now, you have counseled hundreds of persons, perhaps thousands, in Jamaica, and you've been the main speaker for countless conferences and webinars. Quite a few times I see your image and your name all over the place in Jamaica. So you have quite a bit of experience dealing with people and groups and so on. What would you say, in your experience, are the top 3 issues or problems that people in Jamaica are grappling with today?
I do believe that self-efficacy, emotional intelligence, and forgiveness. I do believe that these are the top 3 issues that interfere with not only how people think, but also with how people behave.
Let me stop you there. For those of us who don't know what self-efficacy means, could you break that down for us?
Okay, self-efficacy, actually, his name is Albert Bandura. He's a social psychologist, and Dr. Bandura was the one who coined the term self-efficacy. And self-efficacy, in layman terms, says it is a person's internal belief about their ability in relation to things that impact their lives. It is what you believe about what you can do about things that impact your life. So if you believe that no matter what happens to you, you're able to overcome these things, because you believe that you have the ability to overcome these things, then Dr. Bandura is saying that you have self-efficacy.
So would you say then is a certain belief in self, is a positive belief in self?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. You believe that you can, you will, you must. You can write down those 3. You believe that you can, you will, you must. That is self-efficacy. So it's not so much what people believe in you or about you, is what you believe in yourself. And so self-efficacy is, I do believe it is the foundation, but unfortunately we live in a society that we still need to hear from you to regulate and decide not only what I think about myself, but even how I operate.
Okay, so that's the first one, self-efficacy. You mentioned forgiveness and another issue.
Emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional intelligence really has, I do believe it is akin to self-efficacy, but it has some other components. Emotional intelligence actually, again in layman terms, if you want, we're looking for a definition, says that not only do I know how to manage my feelings, but I am able to relate to you in a effective way because I'm able to manage how I feel. That is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy actually covers about 5 different components. It has to do with self-awareness. And self-awareness says that you recognize and understand your emotions and your reactions. It has also to do with self-management. And self-management says you're able to manage, you're able to control, you're able to adapt your emotions, you're able to adapt your mood, your reactions and responses. Then you have the word motivation, and motivation now says that because you have self-awareness and self-management, and incidentally, Shellyan, they have to be in this order, but self-awareness, self-management, and then motivation. And motivation says, because I'm able to manage now my emotions, then by and large, I am motivated to carry out the appropriate responses. The appropriate responses. After you have done those 3 things for yourself, Then the next two that speaks to emotional intelligence now speaks to empathy and social skills. Empathy now speaks to the idea that you are able to understand a person's context. So you're not going to be judgmental about someone now, but you're able to understand or find out their context. And then social skills now speaks to what is the appropriate course of action that I can take now that I understand a person's context. That is emotional intelligence. Again, I do believe that if we have self-efficacy, and if we're able to execute emotional intelligence, and the third one, which is forgiveness. Forgiveness here, I do believe that it is quite problematic in our country because we have what is called limited forgiveness. We have conditional forgiveness. We have detached forgiveness. And the most difficult of them all is full forgiveness, in which most persons do not plan on doing.
Which one are you referring to? With that being said, which one of these types of forgiveness are you referring to?
Well, I'm saying that why is it that we have a problem in Jamaica? It is because, again, we lack self-efficacy, we lack emotional intelligence, and we lack forgiveness. In that correction, we exercise the three aspects of forgiveness, with the exception of doing full forgiveness. The three aspects, if I have time, I can explain them. The three aspects of forgiveness that we do, and unfortunately, we do it to not only to insulate ourselves. So we carry out these three aspects of forgiveness truly not to make ourselves vulnerable, because that's what full forgiveness does. So because we do not want to be vulnerable, instead we're going to protect or insulate ourselves by doing these three. What are the three? It is limited forgiveness. Limited forgiveness says, I will forgive you for some things, but I don't plan to forget. Then we have detached forgiveness that says, I am going to forgive you, but once bitten, twice shy. I do not plan to put myself in a vulnerable position again. So you will not have another opportunity to hurt me. And then you have now conditional forgiveness that says the only way for me to truly forgive you is unless you give me enough reasons or prove to me that I can feel safe with you again in order to forgive you.
But Andre, let me just speak to you from the people listening who may have a question in terms of self-preservation. This person who you're going to forgive is going to do this thing again, or it's a part of your choosing to extend limited forgiveness. It's part of you protecting yourself as well. Isn't there healthy room for some of that in terms of your own healing?
Okay, excellent. Actually, so I'm going to answer you directly, and it might sound quite terse. There is no room for that.
Oh my goodness!
And I tell you why.
I can feel people staring at us, Andre, giving us the side eye. But anyhow, go ahead. Right. You're the psychologist.
Because as the word denotes, it is forgiveness. You see, remember, forgiveness does not mean that you do not establish boundaries. That is one of the problems that we have. You cannot say, I forgive you, but at the same time still have bitterness inside of your heart towards someone. Now, forgiveness does not mean no boundaries. That is where we make the mistake. We believe that I have to push you out of my life or not give you another chance if I say I forgive you. Quite on the contrary. If you think about it, we all make a conscientious effort to forgive people, or correction, in seeking forgiveness from someone else. How many times have we lied? Does it now mean that somebody should call me Andre Liard Allen Casey? Because how much time do I need to lie for them to change my name or insert it into my name? and yet each time if I ask for forgiveness, I do not want to be reminded of the amount of times I have committed an infraction, so to speak. And so you say, I am coming hoping that you will not only forgive me, but also give me another opportunity. If you don't give me another opportunity, then how are you going to measure how much I have changed? And so the truth is, once I say once I ask for forgiveness, then the question is, forgiveness now does not mean now that I do not set up boundaries. I may not give it the full gamut until I can feel safe with you again. But my objective is for me to feel safe with you again. My objective is not to put you in jail for the rest of your life. In the same way, I do not want somebody to call me liar Andre because I told him a lie one time or two times or three times in my lifetime, so to speak.
I think you just raised an important perspective to have when you think about forgiveness. You're saying that your objective as the person who is extending forgiveness, and even as you're implementing boundaries and so on, but your main objective in all of this is to be able to feel safe with you again.
That's right. That's the goal.
Wow.
That is the goal.
That's big. That's big. I can see why you say if you don't have self-efficacy and emotional intelligence, you can't actually truly forgive.
There you go. There you go.
True word. So clearly there are no quick fixes to these kinds of problems or to this kind of way of thinking. What is your advice then to people with limited self-efficacy, if I'm saying it right, limited emotional intelligence and have been unable to forgive? What is your advice to them?
I would say that people need to literally learn to give themselves an opportunity to survive and live, and stop asking people permission for your happiness. Stop asking people for permission for your happiness. In other words, so what if once you carry out these three things, people say, I don't want anyone to take disadvantage of me, so I'm not going to do it. A person's bad behavior should not dictate your response. You must be prepared to do the right thing in spite of and not because of. What kind of ink is in your pen? What are you made up of? Who are you as a person? Is it that we consistently operate in hearing what people say to us and about us to regulate what we become? And so I'm kind of saying, where is your faith?